Thank you very much for joining us today. We have Laura today, another one of my college friends. We've had quite a string of you. It's been very exciting. Welcome.
Yay.
And Laura, once again, is somebody that I met at the college radio station that we all worked at.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I've had both
Fond
Daniel and
memories.
Tyler. What was that?
Fond memories.
Yeah, I've had both Daniel and Tyler, and we've talked about college radio.
Oh, so maybe we'll talk about something different.
I mean, whatever. We didn't delve super in depth or anything, but yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for being a part of this today with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Excited to
course.
be
Yeah,
here.
we're happy
More
to have
home.
you. Yeah. So, how are you holding up during all this?
Fine. I have as much free time as you do, so it's been nice to talk to you as often as we can. And
Yeah.
been really great to talk with you more over the past
Yeah.
couple weeks because
Are
we're
you finding like that you're reaching out to people more during this time, or are people reaching out to you more, or what's kind of going on?
I guess kind of both. I'm definitely like, I feel like we all have like a level playing field now because now I'm talking more to my friends who, like you, for example, who I haven't actually been able to see. And so it like levels the playing field for everybody. I'm like, cool, like I have to video chat and talk to pretty much all my friends. So it kind of like broadens your horizons a little bit more. So yeah, I get to talk to like my friends in LA and you and people who, well, I have a friend in Australia.
Yeah, you don't really have an excuse to like not see people anymore, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. Well, it's been really nice talking with you. I know that we all have always kind of had this friendship and relationship that we can go a few months, a few years, a few weeks, and no matter how long it's been, it's always kind of the same, which as I've gotten older, I've very much appreciated that. So this kind of goes into my Pass the Cheese segment. Like, I really appreciate that about you and our friendship and our relationship. And also, you are somebody that equally matches my energy because,
always, yeah, had a very good energy. Down for down for the high energy activity.
yeah, and it probably doesn't come across so much in these videos because, like, I am a little bit more like contained and cognizant about what's going on because I'm staring directly at my face. And if you ever want to look at your behavior, I suggest filming yourself or putting a mirror or something.
I talk
um,
to myself in the mirror all the time. Not all the time, but occasionally.
but I'm actually somebody who doesn't drink caffeine like at all because this is who I am uncaffeinated. So it's really just a danger to everyone around me if I drink any caffeine. So it's really for everyone's safety that I don't. But you're somebody who like matches it and it's great and it's wonderful. And I feel like it is this like, we're like two atoms like bouncing off one another, just like super excited and happy to be there. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that. It's been a pleasure to meet you and realize that we're the same person often. And that's very nice. Not only in how we look and how we dress, but how we act as well.
Yeah, Laura and I, we were both core staff members, but often people would mistake us for the same person, like at the radio station. So
People that we worked with forever.
yeah, we would like I would have a conversation with somebody in the morning, and then Laura would be there after in the afternoon, and then someone would be like, "Oh, I was thinking about this that we talked about," and you'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh, you mean Jackie?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm not Jackie.
yeah, I'm not Jackie, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but then there
I
was
wasn't offended by it though at
no,
all.
yeah.
I'm
Uh,
like, we look almost exactly the same, except I'm a little bit taller and I have brown eyes.
yeah,
That's basically where it ends.
yeah. Um, we also dressed alike on more than one occasion. So,
Exactly alike.
can we be like, can we blame people? Probably not.
Yeah. Like I said, not offended at all. Pretty good.
Yeah. So thanks for being my doppelganger at least.
Thanks for being my doppelganger.
Yeah, happy to. We also have another segment called Wine About It. So is there anything that's going on in your life that you're a little upset about or that you want to discuss?
Here's my wine. Jackie had a great idea to put blueberries in it.
Yeah.
Well, frozen fruit because I pulled out a rosé and I was like, oh, It's warm.
Yeah, if you want to feel like a little bougie or a little fancy, and if you have frozen berries, throw them in your wine that's unchilled, you know?
I should know these food hacks, but I
Whatever.
don't.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to talk about what you do and what your calling is and all that? Because it's cool.
I mean, it's cool. We can do that at the same time. So whine about it.
Yeah.
I don't have a job right now. And also whine about the fact that I don't have a job and I'm a registered dietitian. Love that I'm a registered dietitian, don't love that I'm jobless.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I have so much time to talk to you. It's great.
It is very nice that I don't have to work around your work schedule when scheduling things.
We planned this morning.
Do you like what outside of a global pandemic and the economy crashing and all that, like is there a huge need for dietitians?
That's a good question. I would say probably not so much. I think we're underutilized because everybody thinks that they're nutrition experts. So basically,
Well, I read something on the internet, so
exactly. Dr. Oz said, yeah, so I mean, of course, like I think everybody thinks like we're all underutilized, like, but you know, one large hospital probably has like maybe like 10 dietitians max, which is like that's not a lot. So they're seeing, one whole unit of people. I don't work in clinical care, but those are some statistics that I just pulled out of my head.
yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, it sounds good. If you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
got it.
is there, I don't mean this to be like a reductive or like a very small question or like to, undermine what you do, but if somebody is looking to make like a few healthy changes or, because a lot of us are not as active as we have been, and we are in the house a lot more, and that has changed a lot of things. Some people are cooking for the first time. People, like me, are cooking every single meal, and not that like I cooked a lot as it was, but I'm making a very cognizant effort because I don't have the finances right now. I'm only eating out once a month because that's what I know I can do, and so
Yeah.
is like there anything that you can be like if you want to make some healthy changes, like is there anything that you recommend?
As far as like what I would, it's a big question.
Yeah, I realize it, and
Yeah.
I don't mean to like minimize what you do or
No,
like is it just more fruits and veggies or use less
really
butter?
be different for everybody, like playing upon everybody's strengths of what they can do. Like some people really don't have a lot of time to cook. Some people don't like cooking. So it could be making changes that they're doing in their like dining out experience. Like, hey, these are some things that you might be able to like order bigger portions and make 2 meals out of it with the stuff that you have at home, especially right now since we're not dining out. So you're taking out anyway, so you're bringing home food.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be an opportunity for people to get a little bit more creative with what they are bringing home, like adding. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't really think of one right now.
Well, I like always have for vegetables on hand, I always have onions, bell peppers, and spinach. And I feel like for me, because I don't like mushrooms, like I don't like tomatoes, those are just super easy if I'm just like I don't know what to do. Like you can throw that with rice and like you can
Boom, bam, you got a meal.
yeah, you can put some garbanzo beans, you can put some banana peppers, you can put some feta, like those are some easy ways to kind of like maneuver around like
For sure.
healthy meals, like but I've also realized that I have a really interesting relationship with food. I think a lot of people do, and
Mhm.
maybe I'm kind of generalizing here, but I think a lot of female and female presenting and femme people, I apologize, I don't quite know the correct terminology for that, but people of the femme world, if that's reductive, I apologize. Please let me know what's a better way to refer to that. But there are like I automatically kind of assume that if you eat out, that's unhealthy. But the reality of that, it's not true, you know? Like yes, they probably use more salt and more butter to make things taste good because those things taste good. But
But
you,
those things in itself are not
yeah,
unhealthy things at all. Some of us, so that's an interesting, I'll go off of that, what you just said
please.
there, to debunk a little bit of myths. So my work is all, or my previous work, um, was all in eating disorder treatment and non-diet focused uh, counseling, nutrition counseling, if you will. So that's what I hear a lot from people is, like fat is bad, and especially like salt. Like I don't want to eat salt. But salt is really only a problem if you struggle with, one particular thing that, salt may have an impact on is people's blood pressure, but it's really like a genetic thing. So while people eating higher sodium foods can contribute to the development of high blood pressure, some people can eat a ton of salt their whole life and never have a problem with it. So it's all with being cognizant about, there's no way to know your genetic code really. Well, nowadays there kind of is, but
Up until very recently, there was no way.
yeah. But it's like, we don't have to treat, like, it's not a blanket statement for everybody. And this is where dietitians come in. And it's like, if your blood pressure and all your labs and everything like come back fine, there's no reason for you to restrict sodium. Even though like doctors will tell you, watch out for your sodium. For most people, and this of course is not medical advice for everybody here, but sodium is not something that everybody needs to watch out for all the time. So that's kind of a fun tidbit for people to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think a lot of us also don't realize that like as we get older, like our body changes and like things change with that. And so people develop allergies late in life that they didn't have. And also the opposite where people get rid of allergies. Like I've heard something like every 7 years, like that can kind of happen for you. But also like life changes that you do, like transitioning, hormonal transitioning, whether that is like trans, male to female, female to male, etc. But I have a friend who's pregnant, and I know that with pregnancy, you have to get tested for diabetes like pretty regularly to see if you being pregnant will cause that. And part of it, like, it feels so nuts because for so long, we were just like having children and just like, not like hoping for the best, but basically like hoping for the best. Like up until recently has this stuff been happening. And yeah, it's just like nuts that hundreds of years ago, people were having these babies and health problems were happening and they didn't know what it was and they didn't know like how to fix it.
Yeah.
Kind of mind boggling.
It is. We've come a long way in science. It's also to our detriment though. The more we learn, the less we know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Gist of all science.
What was that?
That's pretty much the gist of all science.
That's also what I've realized like growing up. Like you think that you know so much when you're so young and then you get older and you're like, oh no.
We're all idiots.
I'm just lucky if I walk out the door unscathed.
Mm-hmm. We're all, yeah, totally. We're all
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Well, we're kind of at the end of our time. Is there anything that you want to like bring awareness to, or
shoot.
Are there any organizations that you feel like super passionate about? It could be with your job, it can be personal, it can be, like you're in California, there are fires. Like, how can people help with fires? Anything like that.
I honestly don't know how people can help with fires.
Okay, that's okay.
That's a like morbid end to this, but oh God.
I mean,
don't throw your cigarette butts everywhere. I don't even know how that's started, but people throw cigarette butts in my backyard all the time.
No.
So let's start there. Just stop throwing your cigarette butts out the window in people's
Maybe
yards.
don't have gender reveals parties that involve fire.
That too.
That's kind of a good one to do.
Just keep your fireworks non-existent.
Yeah. If you have to do them, maybe do them over water, kind of thing.
But then you poison the ocean.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's
Maybe
okay.
also like a good loop around for what you were saying is maybe we should trust scientists. And when they talk about that, climate change is real and, you know,
Yeah.
what we're doing to the environment is not helpful. Yeah. Well, you're also someone who's a friend to the environment. Is there any like quick tips that you can give us that like, what's a good, I mean, I compost,
I do compost. I'm almost done with, excuse me, this book.
ooh,
Excuse
okay.
my name and library card. Yeah, go to your local library. This is called Give a Shit. Pretty easy guide for like enviro living and stuff.
Mhm.
Support your local library. Sacramento Library here. I'm in Sacramento, California. I think I just said library. Excuse me. Check out what your local library has to offer. Ours, for example, has multiple heirloom seed
Oh,
bolt, if you will, that you can just call at the library and be like, I want these seeds, and
wow.
they'll just give them to you.
That is so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, so check if your library has that to offer.
Yeah.
You can also check out ebooks for free.
Yeah.
I hate books, but a lot of people really like them.
Yeah, I know. I prefer like a physical. I also have a super old e-reader that I got from somebody, and so I can't connect to my libraries. So that's also my excuse for like, well, I guess I just have to keep buying more books.
Yeah, or go to the library and you can just check them out and then give them back when you're done.
Yes, yeah. I guess I just have to keep my love of physical books alive is my main point.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say, just a quick reminder, corporations are the ones that need to make the biggest changes, and so we do need to push these corporations to let them know. There was a recent, like 2 days ago, article, 2 days ago at the time of us filming, I should say, because this will come out in a couple of weeks. But for years, certain companies that have been pushing for environmental laws to be restricted or like loosened and gotten rid of, they're the ones that benefit from it financially. And, they don't always care about what happens to the people and the communities that it affects. So definitely reach out to your congresspeople, reach out to your senators, reach out to your representatives and let them know that this is something that is important to you, because we won't have an earth for very long if we keep doing what we're doing. And like
Yeah.
70% of what's happening is by people, by corporations that have a lot more control about stuff rather than, that's not to say like, recycling, composting, reusing stuff, buying from bulk stores, that's not to say that those aren't good changes in your life, because we should be doing things to like reduce our plastic, because there is a plastic island in the ocean. But don't be too super upset. I don't know. I don't have. I've really just doomed and gloomed this all at the end.
No, I mean, well, I think you make a good point about the corporations, and that's why, like, I am trying to learn more about corporations and what they're doing behind the scenes, and trying to support. Like furniture is a big one. Where furniture, I know we're kind of going over time, but
That's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal.
I tried really hard to find like an American made furniture company for our couch, and I couldn't find it within our budget. It was ridiculous. So it can be really, really hard to find corporations that you support their mission, their environmental effects. So I just went with like a lesser of two evils. So I purchased from IKEA rather than Ashley Furniture, because that was, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, is you do kind of have to take into consideration like what is like actually, reasonably possible for you. And so like a quick, great suggestion is just check out thrift stores, check out your I try not to advertise for things that don't pay me money, because nobody's paying me money right now because I just started this, but like Facebook Marketplace or Dexnor, like there are these places that you can buy things that are secondhand, and even just one purchase is super helpful. And I totally understand, like, purchase within what makes you feel comfortable. Like during this time, I don't really feel comfortable purchasing secondhand fabrics from things. That's always something I'm a little bit iffy, but especially during a global pandemic, like that's just a lot harder for me to physically see the cleaning. But I bought a secondhand table and chairs, and I was able to wipe it all down, with cleaner, and I felt good about it. So,
I
yeah.
will bounce off of that and say that I did try to find a secondhand couch for 2 years before I gave up.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Secondhand couches also, it's a high risk, it's a high reward.
Yeah, like I've spent 2 years looking for a couch. I need to purchase new. This
Yeah.
sucks.
I also like, it's one of those things like, you're like, okay, you can spend like, $300 on like a used couch, but if you just pay like $200 more, you can find a new one, like, yeah, yes.
Would,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'm not trying to shade you, Laura, on the fact.
I know. I'm just like so scarred from my like couch fiasco for like so long. I'm happy with our couch. It's not great, but it's better.
But it's fine. It does what it needs to. Yeah.
I put down on it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.